MC talks, yo. MC talks, MC talks, MC talks. Y'all wanna be entertained? Then join the show. It's the MC Talks live show. Now you know, real smooth vibes with a steady flow. MC Talks live. Welcome to the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. So we have a good show today. Hopefully, everybody having a good weekend so far. You know what I'm saying? My weekend is going okay. Plans has changed. So actually, you know, I was supposed to have went live around 4:30 because I wanted to go early because I wanted to go out, but plans changed. So I'm here now. Yeah, so we've been getting hit with snow and everything earlier this week. We've been getting hit with snow. That's kind of been messing up my money. But you know, everything's going all right now. Everything is coming back into place. So yeah, so we here. We got a interesting stream show today. We're going to talk about the Michigan head coach and, you know, that little scandal going on. We're going to talk about that. Shannon Sharpe relating his situation with that head coach firing. We're going to talk about that, dive into that. Also, there's a lot of things going on in the streaming world. I'm not big of a streamer watcher, but these streamers, Tylil is being accused of SA'd by another streamer by the name of Jourdin Pauline. So we're going to talk about that. Also, we got other things to discuss. You know, what the CEO of Netflix was talking about with people wanting to basically stay home nowadays to watch movies. We're going to also talk about what Australia got going on, banning social media for all children under the age of 16. And Blueface and his mom got some weird weird stuff going on. Blueface called his mama out and saying that she is not his type. We'll get more into that. So let's go ahead and jump into what is going on social media. As y'all know, I go live at either Saturdays or Sundays, and I basically get all the subjects, everything that's been trending throughout the week, and we talk about it or whatever, and then I post the clips during the week so everybody can see, just in case they come watch the whole live, and I post clips so everybody can catch the part that they really into. So let's go ahead and get it started. So the Netflix CEO has said this. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos said people prefer watching movies at home than in cinemas. Now I have to say that I kind of agree and then I kind of disagree. I'm kind of in between on that because, first of all, it depends on the movie for me personally. And then secondly, a lot of people, they prefer going to movies because people still go on dates. They still go, you know, to the movies. And then after they go to the movies, they go out to eat and things like that in that nature. Also, you know, folks take their kids to the movies as well, get their kids out the house and things like that. People want that, you know, that cinema experience. People like to see the big screen. A lot of 3D goes on at the movie theaters as well. I had that experience one time with the 3D glasses and things, and like stuff about to come out the screen at you, make you jump a little bit. People want to experience those things. You can't really experience things like that at home. And then some movies you can watch at home. It, like I said, it depends on the movie. And some movies you prefer to just stay at home, watch, heat you up a little popcorn, or you know, get your little snack, make you a sandwich, and watch a movie with your significant other or friends and stuff. Like, you know, look, house. You know, people come over to each other's house and, you know, watch movies and stuff like that. So it depends on the movie and what's being played or whatever. So, but a lot of people that I was seeing in the comments, a lot of people say they prefer going to the theater and getting that full cinema experience. So yes, so I kind of in between on that. But that was the discussion earlier this week. Also, let's go ahead and jump into Coach Sharon Moore. Now, Coach Sharon Moore, he was the head football coach at Michigan State University. Now, he was making $6 million a year. He was on a 5-year contract, totaling to $30 million. So he was in a $30 million contract, and he ruined it by having an affair with the executive assistant. Now, he was already married and had 3 kids. He was already married to Snow Bunny, and then he had an affair with another Snow Bunny, which is the executive assistant of his. And he basically gave this executive assistant a raise, a 55% raise, and he bumped her pay up to $90,000 a year. Not only that, them two was messing around, and I feel like, he panicked because he had ordered a plan B through DoorDash. When he found out that he knocked her up, he panicked because he didn't want it. First of all, his employment was in state, and that he's already married. The wife going to end up divorcing him and putting him on child support. So he panicked, ordered a plan B through DoorDash, and I feel like since this mistress took the plan B, got rid of the baby, I'm assuming, she felt the way because, according to sources, he had cut her off after that. He had cut her off and didn't want no more to do with her, or relationship wise, like in that matter, like, messing with her. So she felt the way, and this is all my assumption. This is what I think, transpired during this whole thing that went national. I think that she felt the way because she had to give up her baby that she having with this man that's in a $30 million contract, making good money, that just gave her a raise and that she was falling for. And I think that since he was getting ready to cut her off, she gave the evidence, done told the university about their affair, because let's be clear, as quiet as it kept, workplaces are messy. Workplaces are messy, so people be gossiping and stuff. So she could have been bragging about messing with the head coach, or he could have been talking to one of the male staffers and stuff there, saying, yeah, I getting that, I'm hitting that. You know what I'm saying? And then word and got around on campus and stuff, and then it sparked an investigation, and then it all had been basically out there. And then with the executive assistant coming out saying like, hey, it happened, and telling the university what happened between them, he lost his job. He was fired because they have a policy, no fraternizing policy. And the update on this story is he crashes out. He lost his job. The wife probably getting ready to divorce him. They probably going through some things. And what's weird, and oddly enough, the wife and the mistress was following each other on Instagram. And that's weird too. So it kind of makes sense of what I'm alluding here. But this is my assumption. I feel like the mistress was watching the wife. I feel like she wanted that wife position. And she couldn't get that, so she turned the head coach in, their relationship in, to the university. And they reacted and they fired him. And the update is he crashes out, goes to the former assistant apartment with a knife ready to off her and himself. Okay. So he was later caught down the road at a church, and they arrested him and stuff like that. He was booked. So the whole thing with that is, the head coach, he making all this money. He's thinking in his head, I could never be caught. I done gave her a salary raise, and I'm giving her, so I don't think she will ever turn me in. But he thought wrong, because I feel like the mistress wanted the wife position, if you get what I'm saying. She wanted the wife position, and she couldn't get that. So she retaliated, made him and turned him in, made him lose his job as the head coach, making that 5-year contract money, that $30 million, Okay, 6,000 a year. She made him lose that. And then on top of that, now he's getting ready to probably face divorce and child support. And let's be clear on this. The work, like I said before, the workplaces are messy. So, you got people gossiping, but he was the first black man to hold that position, I'm assuming, from what I've seen in some of these articles. And you probably got people like, he don't deserve that position. You got a lot of people hating on that. And, like, he didn't deserve that. How he get that position? And now that had transpired and went on, they don't gave up his position to somebody else now. Quickly, fast, and quickly. They didn't really want that black man to probably have that position. That's what I'm assuming. But he messed that up on himself because he thought he was up here and that he could do whatever he want and he would never be caught. And that's why you got to be vigilant and you got to really think and have common sense when you are making that type of money and when you're on top like that, because then you got people who's plotting to try to come in your life to only take that away from you or take from you. So Shannon Sharpe, he basically, was feeling sympathy for Coach Sharon Moore. Okay, he was basically feeling sympathy for the Michigan head coach. He said that their situation is kind of relatable. So we're gonna hear what Shannon Sharpe had to say, and then I'm gonna come back with my commentary.
I think a situation like this can happen to you, even though you're doing what you've heard about. Nah, this is gonna be different. She ain't like that. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna get out. Don't nobody know but her and I. Blah blah blah. And I can imagine 6-7 months ago, I went through something very similar. So I know what that storm is like.
Yes, sir.
And unless you've been in it, that's why when people say, this is what I would do, you don't know what you would do until you in it. Until you in that pressure cooker, until you in the eye of the storm.
Yes, sir.
Until you in Ocho, you and I have had a conversation. So
yes,
I know.
Mm-hmm.
To be in that storm and
Crazy.
to know everybody know everything that you worked your entire life for.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it like it's crumbling right before your eyes.
Gone.
Yeah. And
so that's what Shannon Sharpe had to say about the situation, relating himself to that situation. Both of them let a snow bunny, come in and just destroy everything they had going for them. Given that the head coach of Michigan, he was married to a snow bunny, he knew better. He knew better. He knew the policy, no fraternizing, but he decided to do it anyway because he simply thought that he wasn't going to get caught. And besides, he knew better. He was married. You know what I'm saying? So he stepped out on his marriage, and that was the wrong decision that he made. So for Shannon Sharpe to feel sorry for him it's kind of crazy, so to speak, because this man was married and he had kids by his wife, and he decided to step out. But what oddly is, and strangely, that the wife and the mistress was following each other on Instagram. That was weird in itself. But back to Shannon. I think that Shannon fell away because he lost $50 million to Gabby and Tony Busby. Basically, when all that had went down, Shannon, he was coming out saying they trying to shake me down. They trying to shake me down for my money, but then ended up settling for this $50 million that was handed out. And you know what I'm saying? Handed out and said, hey, you're going to pay me $50 million for what you did to me, blase, blase, according to Gabby. So he lost that money and he's feeling it right now. He lost his job behind that. He lost ESPN. He lost that contract. Shannon was making up the money, making some money. And now he only have his podcast and his show with Ocho, whatever you say his name is. So everything that these guys have done, they've done it to themselves. And Shannon should have took Monique warning and took heed to that and took Monique's warning and said, hey, because she was like, hey, Shannon, stop messing with them young girls. Leave them young girls alone. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want to listen. He didn't want to listen. He wanted that young poom poom. And look where it got him. So, you know, he lost everything he had going for him messing with one of them snow bunnies. All right. Snow bunny that was old enough to be his daughter. Okay. But didn't want to pay a lot of money for his real daughter's wedding, but willing to give up $50 million to Gabby and Tony Busby. Didn't even try to put up a fight because they had some type of evidence that he just said, forget it, I'm not going to fight it. They had something against Shannon Sharpe, so he didn't even try to fight it. He's something he didn't really want out there like that because everything is public when you go into these lawsuits. So these people, these guys, they be up here, they be making this type of money, and then all common sense go out the door. They think they can do what they want to do, and because they making this type of money, they think they can, you know, treat people a certain way or do what they want to do with and think no consequences going to be involved. And then when they find out that, you know what I'm saying, that what they are doing has caught up to them and they find out they get ready to lose this money, lose these deals that they got, then they want to crash out, feel sympathy for one another, but they the ones that had this bad decisions, made these bad decisions, and can't blame nobody but themselves. So that's what I say, you know, that's what I want to say about that. So I think Shannon Sharpe, he just in his feelings, he's upset. He had to basically play this girl, Gabby, somebody he was messing with, a young girl, $50 million. And he felt like this was the right time to tell his side and, you know, and get it out. And you heard Ocho and all of them in the background like, yeah, man, yeah. They over there like, you know, like they didn't know that he was going to come out and, you know, and vent to the people like that and feel sympathy for this guy. But they, like I said, they can't blame nobody but themselves for their wrong decisions. Moving on. So, I'm not really familiar about the streaming world. No, first of all, let's go back. Let's go to Clarissa them. Let's go to Clarissa and Blueface, and then we go to the streaming world. All right, so Clarissa, y'all know that she stayed in Blueface's business. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know that she always do commentary on Blueface. This is how she gains her following. This is how she promotes whatever she got going on. Blueface had posted on his social media that his mama is, you know, to tell Clarissa, like, hey, you're not my type. You know, Blueface basically posted on X to let his mom know that she's not his type, and it's kind of weird how that came about. But we're gonna read it. Hold up. We're gonna read it and see what transpired on that. So y'all hold that thought real quick. And let me play that for y'all. All right. So, you know, Blueface took to his social media account to let his mom know that she isn't his type and that she basically need to stay out of his business when it comes to him and his women. And this is what he had to say. He said, Mom, we could never have sex. I'm not into that. Please stop being so invested in the women I'm laying down with. It's kind of weird. Like you jealous or something. We can never lay down together. You're not my type. He also proceeds to say this. Anytime you guys see my mom targeting my lady friends, please let her know this is what your son is talking about. Because I don't get the correlation. I just want her to stop sabotaging my relationships. So let me get back up on the screen real quick. But hold on. Let me read what she had to say. And she basically said this. CIS was never meant to be a toxic network. And I refuse for you to destroy everything that our entire family put in on. I'm not about views And it's not about money. It's about real family showing real transparent ups and downs in everyday life in our community. Seats is not for sale, and this is not the direction that I would ever allow my family legacy to end. Thank you, but no thank you. I love you too much to go out like this. So she said that. So let me get back up on the screen real quick. Um, so here's the thing. Clarissa has a show on Patreon. She has a show where she has a reality show dealing with her family and stuff like that. And she's been doing that for a while. And like I said before, Clarissa, she uses Blueface to gain a following. She used Blueface to gain a following. Blueface saw that. He knows that. Everything that Blueface went through with either Christian, Jaden Alexis, whatever, whatever he had going on, she had to hop her ass online and talk about it. And that's what she did. She gained a following off of it. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. She gained a following off of Blueface. And she was so invested in the women that Blueface was seeing. I even made a video years ago saying how creepy and weird that it was. And it's still, to me, till this day, it's still kind of weird. At this point, Clarissa, you have your following, you have everything you need. Why do you still continue? This is what I don't understand. Why do you still continue and so invested in what Blueface do or who he's sleeping with? And also, as quiet as it kept, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Clarissa and Blueface may be in on this together because I feel like she wanted her show to be promoted even more. So Blueface came out with this tweet, this weird ass tweet. And the reason I say this is because she was on her Instagram after Blueface had made that tweet on X. She was on Instagram talking about, I have money for a wife for my son, accepting applications and stuff like that. Just being weird. You know what I'm saying? Like really, and then promoting her show on top of that. But she also did post and delete. So she took a lot of that stuff down. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe them two, as quiet as it kept, maybe them two was in on it. But I really do feel like Blueface really do feel that way because that ain't his first time saying that. Like Clarissa is really too involved in Blueface life, and I think she's involved like that because, like I said, she want to build her following, build her brand, which she did off of Blueface and Blueface controversies and stuff like that, and that's what happened. And I feel like he want her to, chill a little bit. You got the following you need. You got everything you need. You don't need to, keep, talking about me as, speaking as for Blueface. Blueface feel like she don't need to keep talking about him and doing commentary on him every time something go down with him. But that's what she does. And she gained a following off of that. But yeah, I just thought that was just weird or whatever. So let's move on to the streaming world. It's a lot of controversy going on there. Tylil, he's basically went viral for taking up for Kai Cenat at the streaming awards. And, a lot of people applauded him when the host was being messy and said that Kai looked like Diddy. So then after that, Jourdin comes out and said, hey, I've been SA'd. And she claimed she wasn't going to say the name, but she showed the text messages on her phone. So all the blogs, not text messaging, the call log and, hitting that Tylil basically was the one that SA'd her. And the blogs went crazy. Everybody started talking about it and online. But a lot of people, I don't know if she thought this was going to work in her favor, but a lot of people, from what I've seen online, a lot of people assume that this girl is lying. And a lot of people was really giving this girl backlash for coming out and saying that Tylil basically SA'd her. Now, I'm not in the streaming world like that, so I'm not into that type of thing. I do tune in from time to time, but not often. I am familiar with Kai Cenat. Most of them I'm not familiar with. Hell, I'm not even familiar with this girl. She's a streamer, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not familiar with her. But she came out, she said she's been SA'd, and by Tylil, and she basically came out crying in a video and everything else. And we're gonna watch what she had to say, and then I'm gonna come back with more of my commentary, and we'll talk about it some more. So let's just hear what she had to say.
I was sexually assaulted at a party, a streamer award party. And not only that, it's by somebody that you guys fucking love. And I'm tired, bro. I'm fucking tired, guys. I'm fucking tired, guys. Like, literally. People are evil and malicious. And like, people think they can do anything. Like, anything. I'm literally like so disappointed in people because I think people are good people, and I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And they're evil. They're fucking evil, bro. And I'm done streaming. I'm done doing this shit, bro. Unless it's gonna be my last stream. Because people are fucking evil. And it's always gonna be sides being chosen on. And I'm tired. I'm literally tired, you guys. I don't deserve being treated like I'm nothing. And my feelings. What about how I feel? You know? And not everyone is your friend. And you guys love these people so much. You guys fucking love these people so much. And as a woman, you always get exiled, and it doesn't matter how I dress, you guys know I'm asexual. I keep my body to myself for a reason. I am a temple. I do not share myself with people, especially if I don't know them. And it's really unfair to me because I feel like I make sure that everyone is in a good position and they feel good, and like, you know, everything was innocent. And I don't care how drunk somebody is, you should never take advantage of them. My phone was stolen and broken. I had no way to get home, and I was assaulted, you guys, by someone that you guys all love. And I'm so tired of this streaming shit, and I'm done, bro. He taped me. The reason why he stopped anyway is because I started boohoo crying, you guys. I was crying, and he taped me as I'm crying like this. He was like, "Why are you crying?" Da, 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 da. And I'm like, because like I didn't want to, like, you know. And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna talk to you again." I'm like, I don't care if you talk to me again. It doesn't matter if you talk to me again. It's the simple fact of like me not wanting to even go down that route because you have a fucking girlfriend. This isn't the first time I've been assaulted, but this is the first time I've been assaulted by someone popular and famous, I guess. And they think I'm not going to say anything because of who they are and who they know and what they do. But like I said, this is somebody you guys support. I hate men. I'm technically going to become, y'all thought I was asexual before. I hate men. Look at all these no caller IDs. I've been getting harassed. I already said it, guys. I already said it. Like, we've already talked about this already. We already talked about who it is. Whoever caught it, but I'm not going to say it because I still have to make sure my integrity and whatever the fuck else is secure. And then I will say the name of who it was fully. I already showed y'all the call log, chat. Y'all already know. If you already know y'all can say it in the chat, but I'm not going to say it out my mouth because niggas is trying to blackmail me and shit already. Like, I don't have time for it. Like, that's why I said I'm done with the streaming shit, because niggas thinking collab streams is gonna do something for me. And surprisingly, the other ones, a part of that team that he's in, the house that he's in, they're more respectful than him. Way more. I would say.
Okay, so I will say this. First of all, I got questions. Because what footage or what does he have to blackmail you? You're really not coming out stating that. I'm sure that I'm not the only one. I'm sure that the world want to know that. And if he has these, whatever he has to blackmail you, allegedly, according to you, Jourdin, a lot of people feel like this girl is lying. A lot of people don't believe this girl. And um, I also want to say this. I want to say that I do have questions because from what I was seeing online, people were saying that she was around Tylil the whole award show. She was around him, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know because I didn't watch it. And she surrounds herself around these streamer guys and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of this is weird to me. A lot how it's all played out is weird to me. How Tylil stands up for Castanet, then this girl come out and says she been SA'd. Not to say she's lying. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to come on here and say that this girl is lying because I don't do that unless proven otherwise. Is have been incidents where these female comes out and say they've been SA'd and it came out to be a lie and they done ruined the man's life. They done ruined his career and everything, you know, the dude had going for himself. It's been there've been occasions like that. So hopefully she's not lying. Not saying that she is, because that's what I don't do. I don't say people lying unless it's proven otherwise. Now she's saying that she's going to take legal action against him in her response that I'm gonna read to y'all in a minute. But he did come out and denied everything. He has said, "I would like to make it clear that I have never SA'd anyone." Okay. And what's weird is people in the comments were basically going off on the people who were saying, why come to social media with this? Why come to social media and tell us? Why not go to the police and file a police report? And then I guess some of her fans who watch her said that she did file a police report, but I didn't see it in the blogs. I didn't see anything. Nobody reported that she did from what I have, you know, I haven't seen it. So I'm guessing that's why everybody else was saying that in the comments, right? So yeah, that's another thing. I know social media move mountains for certain people, but in this instance, I don't think it's going to work for her. A lot of people is on this guy's side. He's very popular from what I've seen. And like I said before, I'm not familiar with the streaming world. No shade. The only one I'm familiar with is Castanet. I have seen him before in Castanet videos and stuff like that. Also, for the people that's taking up for Tylil, I want to say this. We don't know what these people is like once the cameras is off. I can show you right now a different personality, but when I turn off this camera, I can be a vile and nasty individual. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not, but I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example because we don't know his character when those cameras are off. That's why I don't want to say, hey, this girl is lying. This can't be true. Because that's one thing I don't do. I don't follow the crowd or what people have to say. I'm not doing that. I'm not a follower. So I don't do that. I come up with conclusions and assumptions from what I see. And what I see is, you know, this girl boohoo and crying, saying that she's been SA'd and talking about how now she don't like men, but all men didn't do it to you. He did, according to you, allegedly. So yeah, I like I said before, we don't know Tylil personality or character behind outside these cameras and lights and things like that, and that's where a lot of people get twisted. Me being in the content world and, you know what I'm saying, doing what I do, you know, I done seen things online. I done seen things behind the scene where people portray themselves to be a certain way. I actually know some content creators who portray their self to be a certain way in everything to the crowd when the camera is on. But then when that camera is turned off, they are the most vile and nasty individual. So I can say that. But anyway, Tylil, he did respond. He said that, he had never SA'd anybody. And we're going to read her response. And she responds to it. And she says she's going to take legal action. And this is what I want. Because when this goes to court, this will determine if her story is truthful or did she make this up. This will determine everything. So let's hear what she had to say. She has said this. I want to alliterate my experience with SA assault and emphasize how crucial it is for survivors to share their stories and support one another. Justice must be served, and I want to be clear that I do not condone false accusation against men, just as I do not condone any form of SA assaults. Everyone has their own perspective, and while some may claim innocence, it's important to acknowledge the gravity of the situation. I will be going live to bring closure to this matter as legal action is underway. Thank you to everyone for their kind words, and for those who have said hurtful things. You are a part of the problem, and this is why women and others are unsafe today. I pray for safety of women, children, and men, because no one is excluded from such terrible experience. I pray that everyone find peace and love in their life. God bless. So that's what she had to say in response to Tylil. So I'm hoping that this do go to court, and I'm hoping that she is not lying for her sake, because as from what I see, it seems like the public is more, public opinion and everything. It seems like the public is more on his side. I'm just saying, that's what I'm seeing online. It seems like, people is really taking up for Tylil. Like, they really have it in their mind that this guy is not who she say he is. So we'll see how this all play out and how this go. This is a mess, and that's why I don't want to actually come out and say like, oh, she's lying and this and that and the third. And then when they go to court, if she do the legal action and they go to court and it's proven that he did these things, I don't want to be looking crazy. Like some of these people online might be looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we don't know his real personality or his character outside of those cameras. When those cameras go off, he can be a whole different Tylil. I'm just saying. But anyway, moving on. So we're on the last subject, and this is really interesting and new. Australia makes history by becoming the first country to completely ban all major social media platforms for children under 16. This is good. This is good news. I think this absolutely needs to happen. Social media has been very, very, very unsafe and detrimental to a lot of these teenagers and kids. They go out and see and do things that they know is wrong, and it gets it from social media, like these awful challenges, TikTok challenges and stuff like that. Ringing doorbells and running and stumping people's doors in. I done made a video of that earlier this year. Y'all can go back and see that. Kids getting under live for it, going to jail. It's been a lot of things. And not only that, you got some of these girls, they follow these blogs and cite these little girls and stuff, and they see baddies trending, and they watching Zeus and stuff, and they walking around. They not walking around with bows and stuff in their hair and little twists and plaits and stuff. They walking around with lace fronts, wigs, makeup, eyelash, everything, looking like a grown ass woman. And they simply see this because this is what is portrayed online to these girls. And then, I remember coming up when we was little, I remember like girls that's like, 13, 14, they were still rocking the bows in their hair and, little braids and stuff. You knew they was little girls. You knew that, they was little girls. They wasn't wearing makeup and fake eyelash and all that stuff like that. more of a natural look. Um, you know, and it also, it's sad to say, but it's the truth. These kids, they be in their phones, they be on their tablets, they be looking at things, and then you got the predators, child predators, okay, online. These kids got Facebook pages. These grown ass men hitting up these kids, these pedophiles and stuff like that, be hitting up these kids and stuff. And it's true. It's true. And I feel like the internet is not safe for kids. I think a lot of these parents, I see a lot of parents saying they have parental control over their kids' phone, and some parents do, and that's what needs to be done. But most kids can get away with it, and those are the ones that falls victim into those things. And with Australia implementing that law, I think a lot of countries and states and stuff like that is going to follow. It's going to follow. I think a lot of countries are going to follow this because this is historically historic right now. A lot of people is really looking at this. Everybody's seeing what's transpiring with this, and like I said, United States and other countries may follow, states included. You know, all of that. Um, yeah, so like you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. The kids are not active. They are in the house all day on their phone, on their tablet, just looking at things that they don't need to be looking at on social media instead of going out playing. We had to be at home when the street lights came on. You know, when we got home, we was tired for being outside playing all day. We was dirty. We take our bath, eat dinner, and go to bed. You know, now these kids don't even do that. And what make it crazy is they can use AI now to do their homework and stuff. They don't have to use their brain as much as we did back in the day. They use AI to write a whole paper for them. They'll use AI to, you know, do their math for them, summarize stuff for them, break it down. AI will break math problem all the way down, one part at a time for these kids and make it look like they really did the work. So yeah, social media has become a real problem for these kids these days. I think Australia is on to something, and I really see other countries, you know what I'm saying, implementing this and, you know, going forward with this as well. That's my thought on it. But anyway, this has been a good stream, been a good live. You know, like I said, like I say in every stream, I normally go live on Saturday or either Sundays around 7-ish. The latest may be around 9-ish. But yeah, I try to gather everything that trends throughout the week, then post, then go live, and then I post clips so everybody can see what, you know, topic they want to see or interested in. I post that. And yeah, it's been a good live. But we're gonna try to do more, you know, things when it comes to the live. I'm gonna make sure I do some more, get some more ideas to do and talk about as well to entertain y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Engagement is important. This is the only way we will grow. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I can give y'all more. This is the only way I can give y'all more if y'all engage. You know what I'm saying? It's very appreciative. Engagement if you care, like, comment, and subscribe. And you know, and I'm gonna catch y'all on another one. Hopefully, y'all have a good weekend. The rest of y'all weekend be good and y'all be safe. And I am out of here. Peace.